You got-
Okay, we are back. We are literally. This is amazing. This is like I'm really happy and excited about this. We are now going into the third hour here. Gabby, send me an invite real quick, and we'll get you right up in here. But this is dope. I'm super happy that this kind of we were able to have this conversation, and everyone stuck around to kind of get in and dig in here. Gabby, I just. But again, yes, dope. Hour three we're going into right now. Hour three, people. This is fucking amazing and exciting.
Hi.
Hey, hey, how are you? So we meet again.
We meet
How have you
again. We
been?
meet again. This time not in Vegas at CES.
Indeed, that was a fantastic breakfast, by the way.
Yes, it was.
So, I mean, so you and I are fortunate to be out in Long Island, away from the
We sure
craziness,
are.
the center of this kind of this issue. So, are you doing well? You
Yes, I'm
you
doing
hanging in there?
amazing. Well, I'm hanging in there. I mean, I'm balancing two kids. I became a teacher overnight, working full time. So just trying to
Yeah.
figure it all out one day at a time.
It's so true. That is true because now we have all become like full-time teachers and juggling a job, and like I know like myself and my wife are doing that. And it's hard. I gotta tell you, my like I've learned that my patience is so thin. And I feel so bad.
Yes.
I'm like doing like writing with my daughter, and then I'm like, no, no, don't go. No, that's a lowercase. Don't go above the dotted line. I'm like, it's
Yes,
a lot.
there's,
It's a lot. So props
I
to
definitely
teachers.
am. Yes, couldn't agree more.
So can you tell us a little bit who you are and what you do?
Sure. So, hi everyone. Gabby Stoller, I'm the RVP of the East Coast at Vistar Media, and we are a programmatic digital out of home technology company that connects brands and audiences in the physical world.
Right. Right. So tell us then. I mean, like I guess I'm gonna go kind of right through it because you guys definitely do some interesting stuff.
Sure.
Have you seen some of your brands kind of shifting now over the past few weeks in terms of like the types of campaigns that they're asking you guys to kind of execute on and what they look like?
Definitely, man. I would say the biggest thing that we're being asked for by our clients and why a lot of brands are gravitating to companies like Vistar and programmatic just in general is the simplicity and the flexibility that we offer. It really makes clients trust us in a very uncertain marketplace. So more than ever, clients are asking us for data to support just how consumers are moving through the physical world. And I know we spoke a ton about habits here, and we're seeing
Yeah.
habits changing drastically because we're using location data to understand where they're spending their time. And that's really helping us understand where we should be providing that messaging and using that data and making all data informed decisions, which is lending ourselves in a good position because clients are truly trusting what we're using because it's
Hmm.
transparent and we're pretty open about it. I would say the biggest thing is, obviously habits are changing, but people are still out and about because they still have to get their
Hmm.
essentials. So on our end, of course, we're not serving media in malls or in gyms where places are closed or even schools or universities, but people are still driving down the highway. People are still going to doctors' offices, pharmacies, grocery stores. And so those are the types of patterns that we're looking at to make sure that everything has the data to support when we are actually activating and connecting those brands to those audiences.
So is it that you're seeing more people are they're just like honing in on very specific locations to do their branding, right?
Exactly. It's very much more like they have a specific audience, but the places where we're seeing the traffic is what you would expect just given what's being closed, but also the places that have the essentials. Like people are scared that they're going to run out of gas. So the visits to gas
Yeah.
stations is only increasing. And then we're also seeing visits increasing at convenience stores within those gas stations because it's less crowded and they want to avoid all those different
Well,
types of
that's
places like a
interesting.
huge grocery store. So, I mean, those are the types of facts that we're leveraging to ensure that we're serving media at the right time, at the right place in a very tasteful manner. But programmatically does allow the brands to do that with with much more flexibility than anything else.
That's really interesting too that you say that you guys are seeing like a significant increase in people going to gas stations to then go shopping.
Definitely. And I mean, even our partners are saying the same exact thing, just because that's where the devices are now.
Wow. Right, right. So the question then, do you see your brands are also like changing the type of messaging that they're doing right now? I mean, do you think that they're changing the tone, how direct they're being, or any of that?
I would say we're in conversation about that currently. I don't know how many have actually, not many have significantly changed it with us quite yet, but we're definitely in active conversations. I will say, I mean, obviously the
Right.
trades, a lot of brands are shifting their messaging to coronavirus first messaging, just to stay alive and just to make sure they're having meaningful conversations with the consumers. But it's definitely different, and how they're going to market with it.
Interesting. Interesting. That's really interesting. So, are there any other things, points you'd like to add, or just anything you'd like to say that you feel is important for this time right now and
Yeah,
how we
I
move forward?
mean, I always like to look at things from a half glass full perspective, just how I approach life.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so beautiful how the advertising community has come together. Someone mentioned it earlier, just how resilient we are and how passionate we are. And I mean, we're all
Yeah.
going through so many things at the same time, and that's pretty rare. I mean, 9/11 obviously
Yeah.
was an instance that we went through something together too, but this is
Yeah.
unique in a way where we're all
The
home,
whole
we're
world.
all bonding over like something. Like every conference call virtually starts with how you holding up, how's it with kids, people are have
Yeah.
kids on their laps. So I would just say, it's
Yeah.
been kind of interesting to navigate this, and I'm like really
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's been interesting to watch it unfold.
Yeah. I gotta say, in all honesty, when people ask, well, how are you? I'm doing totally fine. And truth be told, I am actually, it's nice to be home with family, right? And I think
I
that it's almost like the world's way of saying, wait, everyone, pause. We need to slow
Yeah,
down, take some time, and be present.
yeah, I think my kids are gonna have a hard time when I go back to commuting every day.
Yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
how
yeah,
that
you and me
goes.
both. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
thank you so
thank
much,
you
Walt, again.
so much.
Okay, talk
Yeah,
soon.
you've
Thank
been
you.
awesome. Thank you so much. Be safe.
Okay, bye.
All right. So we got next up here. I'm gonna invite the next person in here. We can talk to. Let's see, Dick. Um, Luois, man, you've been waiting a minute, man. My man's been going strong for like 2 hours and change, getting ready to grab the mic. Luois, hop up in here, man. Coming all the way from Vermont. What's up, my man?
Walt, what's happening, man?
This is what I'm talking about, man. The strong beard game. Yes. We make it work, man. We make it work. So look, man, thank you for joining in. Thank you for hanging tough, man, with us tonight.
No,
I'm
no,
shocked that we are going into hour 3 right now, man. That's fucking impressive.
it is actually. People are interested in trading ideas and being part of a community that can answer to crisis and be part of crisis and join one another. It's extremely important.
Indeed, indeed. So could you tell folks a little, because I'm opening up with everyone, telling a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I started in finance and got recruited into digital really early on, back in like 2003 when Facebook was launching. So I was there in Chicago with FCB when we started working with social channels and working with video and working with all the different channels that came to be now we think are just normal. But I was there in the beginning and stayed with it, and then transited to like pure data analysis. I actually worked. I built an analytics platform to look at how geopolitical crisis affects markets and how markets affect consumers, and I've been doing that for the last 10 years, and it's been quite a ride. So I was with it in the beginning and have seen it grow and seen it become all sorts of things. It's been an interesting ride for sure.
Indeed, man. Very cool. So tell us a little bit about what are your thoughts, man? And I know you and I bounced some about this the past few days already. Like, what are your thoughts on like how this shit changes, man? And like, and even like, do you now feel that like brands are forced to do digital? Like, is it now the moment of like, shit, now we have to fucking figure it out really fast or get off the train?
I think you got to look at what happened after the recession and what happened after 2001. So you had two bursts in the economy where you had a bunch of companies that disintermediated a lot of existing industries. So if you look 5 years after the recession, you disintermediate with Airbnb, Instagram, Uber, Snap, Lyft, DoorDash, Impossible Foods, Tinder, Slack. These all become the new reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those brands put the person and the personality and the ambition that attends both of those things front and center. So basically, capitalism was realized. You could have whatever you wanted, exactly when you wanted it, right?
Yep.
So lifestyle marketing and influence became where it was at. You weren't going to get anywhere with the consumer through what we used to do, which was quaint, right? So now you had to really connect, and that's what people are talking about, authenticity and engagement. So, you know, the markets took off. The last 10 years has been a bull market that a lot of people thought was not going to end. Consumers are at the base of why corporates make a lot of money.
Right.
And, you know, you have to wonder if personality and personal ambition triumph, then, you know, what do we lose at that?
Yeah.
And we, to some degree, our inability to react consciously to what's going on is really maybe the deficit of being so digital. So we got to look at the physical. We got to ask, what is the physical market? And the physical market is you vote with your dollars. So the brands and the services and the products you support, that affects a policy in the direction of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody supported, just take energy, then there'd be no reason for alternative energy. Nobody would be interested in it.
Yep.
Consumers have power. And, you know, it's like, I think right now the massive challenge for brands is to realize, Blasio came out the other night and said something like the pandemic will force people to expand beyond personal ambition. And indeed, making people grow beyond what's good for them and curtailing their freedom at the same time is hugely challenging, because you're asking people to change the very way they think about consuming and the very way they think about one another. Yeah. And when you do that, you know, digital life is what we rely on for comfort and company, you know, right now. So it's not ironic that we're left with our phones and locked inside. Yeah. So the market is ironic, you know. Yeah. So go ahead.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that I think the challenge is right now for people to ask, you know, are we prepared to sacrifice? Mm-hmm. Are we prepared to live up to our times? And are we prepared to be brave? You know, I think that we're going to step way outside paradigms we thought were useful, but we're going to have to redefine the markets in the process and redefine agencies and redefine communication wholly, right?
Yeah. That's you bring up a great point too, man. So what do you feel like, that brands should be doing more of right now? Like if you were like, if brands are going to get this right today they need to start doing X, Y, and Z.
Come out of the closet that you're in that says that you're not connected to people in reality. And come out of the closet that you're in that says that the reality of everyday people is somehow extracted from consumerism, because consumers are people, voters are people. Yeah. And brands, you know, run a dangerous line of thinking that people are totally bought in. And I mean, if you think back, advertising is quaint, right? Marlboro, Doers, Hilton Hotels, British Airways, American Express, they sold you to you, right? They told you who you wanted to be to some degree. And you know, it's the same now where our influencers on Instagram tell us who we want to be and live a life we want to live, but none of that's actually reality. Yeah. And the reality is that the tech brands we're stuck on, you know, they don't enjoy that ubiquity. They're people are ambivalent about tech brands. So, you know, we have to question what they do for us, and we have to question what information is, what we want to get out of information, and then brands have to step up and I think play the role of encouraging us to step out of ourselves and actually look at reality in very realistic terms right now. Because what we're facing right now, I don't think anybody has seen ever. My dad's 83. I asked him, "You ever seen anything like this?" And he said, "No, I've never seen this." All right. So we're in uncharted water. Brands could become irrelevant really fast, or brands could become stewards for the consumer to step up and say, "I need a local supply chain. I need connection to my community. Yeah. I need to know what information is and is not true fully." And we can disintermediate politics and disintermediate division and disintermediate hostility. Right?
Yeah. Dude, that was amazing. Loved everything you had to say, man. And so did a lot of other people here who were posting shit like truth. It was valid points, man.
I don't have a role anymore but to speak truth to people. I have my day in the business. I think there's a lot of good in advertising, but I think we can do more, and I think people want more from us. So these are important times, and I would be cool to use any platform, but to tell people that we're in uncharted territory, and do not be surprised if shit surprises you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
You know what I mean?
My man, thank you so much for joining, and we will most certainly do this again, man.
I hope so, Walt. You're the best, man.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one, man. Be safe out there in Vermont, man. It's crazy out there.
We're just chill up here. It's
donuts.
Basically.
Take it easy, man. Later. Oh man, some good stuff. Dope, man. So we're gonna add in another. Let's see. Is Derek on, man? Does anyone see Derek or what, man? He's got his invite out to me. But the brother's not responding. I'm trying to get him on here. Yo! Oh shit! Oh my God! Look what we have here. Look what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just tell you all? This is a moment in time that we all have to remember. Come, get your face back on here, man.
No.
Get your face back on here, man.
No.
Okay, so come on, Derek, get on here, man. So here's a funny story, folks. For the folks that are watching here, my man Derek is like, if you follow this guy, Derek Walker, follow his brother on Twitter, is the realest dude you will ever follow. The truth that comes out of this guy's mouth is just on another level, and will have your jaw dropping on the floor. And just as this moment has. Come on, Derek, you got to get on here, man. Stop playing on me, man.
Wait a minute. You know how long it took me to find those?
Amazing, man. Amazing.
And then one day I just walked in the store, and there they were. God said, hey, look, Coke is talking to you finally. Never mind.
Indeed. Wait, did you find both bottles at the same time? Different times?
In the shelf next to each other.
Oh shit. That was the moment, man. That was a moment waiting to happen.
But I'm gonna leave Black Panther up for a bit.
No, you're not, man. No, you're not. You're gonna get on the motherfucking camera. There.
Oh man.
Yes. Hold up. I just screenshotted this shit, and this is going all over Twitter. This is going out to your fans. So I'm excited about this. It is so hard to get this guy on camera, folks.
But you made me wait until 11:12 p.m.
But this shows the love you have for me, man.
Okay.
And I appreciate you. So, yeah. So let's get it. Let's get it in, my man, because I've been waiting for this one. Can you tell the folks, please, who you are and what you do?
Derek Walker. I own Brown and Browner, which is a tiny ad agency here in Columbia, South Carolina. First of all, we've got plenty of gas and we got plenty of chicken. See, you Northerners are screwed up.
I hope Erica heard that.
We Southerners ain't running out of jack except toilet paper, and we dealt with those people about hoarding toilet paper. But anyway,
amazing.
See, man. You can't run out of yard bird down here.
It'll be a problem.
Shoot, you want to see a revolution? Run out of chicken. I'm sorry, I'm wrong for that.
It's all good.
But I also God, I guess right now I'm trying to think. I want to go with the instigator is what I am. Yes,
and for other folks who are watching who have been on LinkedIn, like if any of you are on LinkedIn, you have clearly seen Derek. This is the second year in a row where he has gone out and highlighted incredible people of color, like talent, right? That are of color across the industry. And for Black History Month, every single day does his research and does these long posts and bios on people that should get more recognition or people that should be visible. And 2 years in a row now, Adweek has picked that up. And there are people on. I was on your list this year. I appreciate it. Yeah. Melvin, who was on Mel earlier, he was on the list, and a slew of other folks who I saw here and are watching now. So thank you for that. So tell me, man, back to the main point, my main question I've been asking everyone, because I like to hear everyone's opinion. How have things changed, man? And how do things change now moving forward for brands? How we work for brands, and how brands are communicating to customers or consumers.
Is there a dislike button on this thing? Because
There
folks
is
ain't gonna
not,
like
man.
what I've got to say.
Go
Okay,
for it,
first of
man.
all,
This is why I love what you say, man. Preach.
we
Say.
talk like people have changed.
Hmm?
Human beings are the same. Did we get a new set of emotions once we went digital?
Mm-hmm.
We have no new emotions or feelings first. Brands got away from, and I love this part. People don't understand the history of soap operas. Soap operas were soap companies put together TV programs and radio programs and sponsored them. They were creating content way back in the 20s and the 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Um, Half of the great radio shows, the great TV shows, they were all sponsored by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is what we always do in advertising, which is one of the few industries that does this. We forget our history.
Mm.
We
Yep.
forget what brought us to the point where we were. Um, when I went to Kramer Krasel, and I'm getting to the answer, but I'm going to deal with some other folks that said stuff tonight that I sort of, we have a short view of history. Kramer Krasel out of Milwaukee they were headquartered in Milwaukee when I got there. They're now headquartered in Chicago. They averaged 20 something years relationship with Master Lock, Sub-Zero refrigerators, Johnson Controls, Case Construction Equipment. They fired in the early 2000s. They fired Career Builder, or one of those,
Mm-hmm.
with the monkey ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah.
they fired a client for because the client put so much emphasis on the USA Today poll.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, look, you misunderstand who we are. We forgot who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go forward, we need to look back. We got our, excuse my language, but you got me on here, so I'm gonna curse. We got our ass kicked by consultant agencies because they did what we used to do. We used to walk in and tell clients, you don't do this. This is bad for you. Do this. This is good. This is how you build a relationship with somebody. I think, and I'm pissed at the digital people because y'all ain't been creative worth a damn. The people outside of advertising have been creative on social media, but our advertising people haven't been creative on social media. And I'll play this. The laziest piece of advertising being done today is websites.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yes. 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 And yes.
Dear God, Wendy's is cool and funny and quick and engaging on social media, and as boring as all get out on their website. No personality. The only brand that comes close is Arby's. Arby's is closer on the tone and tenor, but websites haven't evolved since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Look at agency websites. Boone Oakley put up a YouTube website. There's the agency out of Europe that did the one where they told people what they wanted, how they were going to be treated. But and those things, if you don't know our history, it looks new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you know our history, David Moore out of all places, Omaha, I believe he's in. He promotes. If you don't follow him on Twitter and LinkedIn, follow David Moore.
Will do.
He highlights ads where advertising agencies advertised themselves. And look around this, people going, but we can't be a client. No, it is so pissy. I'm sorry. I've been listening to folks all night, and I'm going, no, you missed the fundamentals. We we built the brands. Coke, Pepsi, all the big three automakers, they were made by advertising.
Yeah.
Now people are acting like they discovered these brands and they're helping them along. No, you're just maintaining. But the real challenge is,
such a valid point.
Can you build the brand? And I honestly don't believe most of these agencies today, most of these professionals can build a brand. You want to build a brand, go get some of these entrepreneurs and find a new startup and build it.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. So before we go anywhere forward, we need to figure out who the fuck we are today.
Yes.
And if we're not going to be ad agencies, there was nothing wrong with the old ad agencies.
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong was how they
Well,
were
there were
run.
some. There were some.
Not. Here's what I'm saying. They were run wrong. They
Okay.
became, for a long time, ad agencies were quasi businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Then they became profit centers for holding companies.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was the independents started to behave like the holding company agencies. We mirrored the holding company agencies, where before the holding companies were mirroring the independent agencies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it kicks everybody's ass every day, all day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because they move differently. They have an air to them. You know, they look. The best work for Procter and Gamble's been done by who? Wyden and Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Old Spice, Tide. Old Procter and Gamble's been around for how long? With how many agencies?
Yeah.
How all of a sudden could this one agency do what nobody else could do? Because they're not a profit center. They're a damn ad agency.
Yeah.
And that means I care about my people. You know, this working at home should show a lot of us that we haven't been taking care of our people.
Yeah.
We haven't been. When I first got in advertising, we got a budget for building you a professional library, for attending events. Tell us, professional events.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing that today?
Yeah.
We had training. I spent my first 2 months working under two ACDs and creative directors who were writers.
Yep.
They sat in on every assignment I did, had to go through them, and they would review it and show me what I did right, what I did wrong. In meetings, they'd encourage me to speak up. They gave me a platform. They taught me how to be a copywriter.
Mm.
We have none of this, and then we're going to sit back and go, well, we've abandoned all of this. See,
Mm-hmm.
those guys have been in advertising for 20 years when I came along. Ain't nobody want to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a whole bunch of young folks who think they know stuff. And I don't mean any disrespect. You are a lot smarter than us old gray people. But you don't know.
Yeah.
There's a difference between knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
That's why Ali was great. Them young boys came up, they could throw some punches, but they didn't have the experience to handle Ali. We have this thing in advertising where it seems like we're always hating on what was beyond the past. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't live in the past. I think we've got to look at how we handle work. We got to get people unchained from the desk. Mm-hmm. When I worked for Shoutout, I worked for TBWA Shoutout out of Los Colinas. When I worked for them, you could work anywhere, but you had to come into the office 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. That went away.
And I think also too, like agency now with this happening, right? A lot of the folks that were scared of doing that are now kind of like, I'm sure realizing, well, you know what? It's not that fucking bad. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So I think this is going to shift a lot of that as we move forward, most certainly.
And I don't mean any disrespect. Gary and I go back and forth. I love Gary, mm-hmm. but project managers is a new position. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Is it really? I think there's always been that kind of person that juggles and kind of like, and I don't know, maybe, you know what I mean? No, you don't think?
For a lot of agencies, that was account service until the late 90s. Mm-hmm. Now, for some of y'all are young. See, some of them were born in the 90s, so that don't count. But for me, it's a new position. Yeah. Because wait a minute, go back and Google strategy. I'll drop this on you. There was a time when account service people and creators were required to be strategists. Yeah. The big change in this came from Europe. Europe adopted strategists in the late 80s, 70s. They started mumbling about them in the 70s, but in the 80s they caught fire. Now, that was in the 80s. The American market was still saying, no, those strategists are a strange thing. Why don't we make our creatives think? And dear God, imagine that. Art directors and copywriters had to sit down and do strategy. And account service people had to do strategy. Here's the kicker, and we don't talk about this. We could charge more if we broke strategy away from account service and creatives. It's a new position. And we don't talk about the business decisions. Watch how this plays out. I was at Timberland McLean when digital hit. And Timberland McLean in Dallas had American Airlines, Bell Helicopter, Nationwide Insurance, Hollywood Theaters, Syntex Homes. They had 13 accounts and had over 700 employees. 13 accounts. That's all they needed to build almost $500 million. And you know what they said? They said, let's take all our techie employees and give them all the digital and send them away.
Yeah.
That was and this, watch how it comes back and bites us now. We sent those people away. They grew, they gained, they didn't have the experience, but they had the power and the knowledge. But they had a resentment towards traditional advertising. So in the 2000s, when the crash started, there was this war. They'd been telling people forever that digital was going to save them, save clients. When clients wanted to cut spending, they went to digital.
Right.
And guess who they put in charge? The folks all these ad agencies sent away to digital.
Yeah.
And now we have to deal with them. Now our civil war is going. And this civil war has worn us down. And we wage this. This is why we have people saying agencies are dying internally, because we have been at war with each other forever.
Yeah.
Creative slapped the shit out of, and look, I came up at the end of the power of creatives. We treated everybody like the redheaded stepchild. We abused account service and everything. Now you take all of that and you look at how our situation today. Before we can move forward, we have to make peace with ourselves.
Yeah.
We got folks that don't want to be, that don't like advertising, working in advertising.
So let me bring it back, right? Because you're saying a lot of really fucking powerful stuff, and I'm gonna bring it back because then we have to hop on to the next person. But
sure, I'm sorry.
Don't sweat it, man. So you're dropping bombs in here too, by the way, man. Like people, you gotta take notes. But so if you were to bring this back, then like real quick, if you're like, what's your quick answer then? Is it that like agencies need to do better? Agencies need to get the right people aligned and get out and actually start doing work that matters and rethink their approach to working with brands to actually take advantage. I don't want to say take advantage of this time, but just to do more meaningful work. Is that where you're going with this?
No. Agencies are soul sick.
Okay.
Their leadership is bad.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
before you can do any of that, you have to have a relationship with clients that you no longer have.
Okay.
See, clients don't care, how many procurement departments run the pitches. There was a time when you would see agency heads call the CEO of a Fortune 500 company client and speak directly to him. That time is past. Why? Not because CEOs don't want to have that conversation, but because we let that relationship part of our business die.
Yeah. Now,
if you had the power to call the CEO, I use Paul Council at Kramer Krasel. It's now Peter's now CEO, but they could call the CEO at Porsche. I know since they have Porsche, when they had Porsche, they still talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how much easier it is to sell work when you can talk to the CEO.
Yeah, true.
Imagine how much easier it is to negotiate your pay and your compensation when you're talking to the CEO. To get people in place to do all those things. We talk about all tonight. People have been talking about authenticity, being empathy, and all of this. All of those things we talk about to the brands. What about us?
Mm-hmm.
Are we authentic with our clients? Do we have empathy for them? Are we building relationships with them? Now, before you send people out to do the work, maybe you need to get an identity. Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah.
And that's missing.
Love it.
Sorry that I think we're trying to fix something without really addressing. And let me swing around to diversity. It's sort of like diversity. Ain't nothing wrong with black people, brown people, and women. They are trained and equipped and ready to do the job. You know what's wrong? You got a group of white men still at the ad agencies who have never been told that they need to change the way they think.
Mm-hmm.
So all these programs aimed at black, brown, and women, and sexual orientation, physical disability, and everything else you want to dump in diversity. It doesn't matter if you never deal with the people doing the hiring. Yeah. And what program do you have that deals with the people on the agency side that are hiring? Yeah. None. That's what we're missing, not only in diversity but in our relationship. We trying to fix everything else, but we hadn't fixed the agencies. Tomorrow, somebody go and Google and look at 10 of the top agency websites. You can take the name off of all of them, and they all are the same.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I'm sorry.
Man, I'm with you. I agree completely, man. And I feel like we could listen to you all tell this shit all night long because you are constantly dropping gems. But I just want to also remind people too that like this is what you get when you talk with Derek Walker. Like we have these conversations every week, right?
Yeah.
I call Derek. Derek calls me, and we talk and we go on for a minute. If you guys want to hear more of what he says, you can get, honest to God, you can get this on a daily basis on Twitter. And this brother already dragged me into a fight with KFC 2 weeks ago.
Oh wait! Oh no! No.
And mother agency, but we're not gonna go there right now.
You know what? Wait a minute. You need to step away from the phone before the lightning strikes you for that lie. I wrote a comment. Right. I wrote a comment, and you went for the jugular. Calling those poor people racist. I was like, I see this as a problem.
I love you, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, I appreciate you, man. Let's continue these conversations.
And I apologize to folks that this happened at 11:30 at night, but apparently they make the old man stay up this late.
Oh, stop it, man. But look, you made an appearance, and that's a big, like, I got a screen grab already. We're good. This is on Twitter tomorrow, man.
If this is on Twitter tomorrow, you're going to make me come up to New York and deal with you.
All right, man.
All right.
I appreciate you, brother.
Good night, folks.
Have a good one, my man.
Oh, I'm going to hang around, but anyway, good night.
Yeah, D, my man. Take it easy, bro. That brother is speaks truth, man. And I tell you, that is a guy you want to follow because he always kind of drops real talk. So look, my God, I think we holy shit, I think we hit everyone. I know we were missing Dana and Alicia Ray. Are they actually here right now? All right, so check this out. This is what we're gonna do. Holy shit, we've gone 2.5 hours. Look, let's do freebies. Who wants to join in? Who has something that they want to say? Wave real quick or throw me a quick request, and I'll let you hop on because I think we got through a list of like almost 20 people, and everyone had an opportunity to kind of speak their piece and say their thoughts on the space. I would love to hear more from anyone out here because we still got 46 people and we're still hanging strong, and it's 11:30. And my kid is not awake, so I'm good right now. And so who would like to join in and give me their? You know what? I'm gonna just invite Kai in. Kai, I'm coming to tag you real quick. Are you on right now? Good. It's all good, Kai. You can come in with your do-rag on and you can make it work. Yes.
You rude. I'm in my pajamas. You rude.
How are you making out?
All right. You know, it's a lot of time between me, my Netflix, and this apartment I pay all this rent for. So we are getting acquainted.
Yes, indeed. And we still, I think we had something on the books for next week. I don't know that that's going to happen now.
Right. It depends on what your president says about when I got to go back to work. So we'll see.
Yeah, you and me both. I don't think any of us are gonna be back until like late summer, anyways. Real talk. Um, but look, we're gonna just start with tell folks who you are and what you do and mixed company and all that stuff too, because you're doing a lot of great work for us
Yeah.
and for people.
Thank you. It feels good to hear I'm doing good work. Somebody
Yeah.
said frame my face, but I won't, because then you'll see what I look like at 11 o'clock usually. No, so my daytime job that pays my bills, I am the director of community engagement at WPP on their global culture team. My job is to basically engage all of the people that work throughout the network globally, making sure that we are creating environments that are worth working for, and making people want to come into work. It's a big job. In my after hours, I start a lot of shit on my podcast. Shout out to Simeon, podcast called Mixed Company Podcast, where we talk about our experiences being people of color in advertising and what that's like coming up in an age where there is no talent development and there are no career paths and there are not a lot of opportunities to show us what diverse content and work should look like, and also providing solutions on how to fix that, just in case you cared. So that's been going on for 4 years. And then I blog to also talk a lot of shit about other things in life on mylifeakai.com. Shout out to H.
Amazing. So I'm just gonna hit you with a question that just came through, and you can kind of tell me what you think here. So excuse me, John Duffield,
No.
do all big brands have a responsibility
Absolutely
to step
not.
up and do big things?
Absolutely not. And I think that the problem with the sentiment that every brand needs to be a do-good brand is why so many people get so frustrated all the time with brands fucking up. You can't expect people to do things in a way that feels authentic if they're forcing it. I think that brands that to their core are meant to provide utility for sustainability, that are meant to provide utility for making people feel good and doing good, they should do that. If your brand is really out here just for shits and giggles to make some money and it's working, do that. Because I'm going to believe you better if you're a real asshole, as opposed to being a pretend asshole, as I would believe you better if you're a real do-gooder instead of trying to pretend to be a do-gooder.
So, and I saw you shout out some stuff. I believe it was you who said earlier. You were talking about some brands you thought were actually doing it right. Was that you who made that comment?
No, the comment that I made, okay. I did comment on that. My comment on that is I don't actually think that brands as a whole are doing anything good. So, like, I think I saw a couple people shout out Nike, and shout out to everybody that works on Nike. Nike literally pays for like half of the rent in advertising period right now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that brands get it right when we're talking about being authentic, when we're talking about inclusion, when we're speaking about being real. I don't think any brand does it right, and that's because they can't. I think that individual projects and campaigns come across well, and I think we see that a lot with like Procter & Gamble. I think Procter & Gamble has a lot of great projects and a lot of great campaigns, and then you turn around and you see, shortcut clips of women going from black to white, and you're like, well, how can they do that? And it's because you're not going to get it right all the time. And I think that that's a lot of pressure that we put on brands as a whole, complete brand, which is really an organization of thousands of people at any given time, to always get things right. When you have, a head of this division, a CEO of that division, a marketing person on that division, we're not going to get it right. So I think we need to start to focus more on the individual pieces within the brands that are getting it right, using those as examples and sharing those examples across the industry so people have specific things that they can look to as a point of reference.
Nice. Amazing. I thought that's all real thoughtful. So my next question to you then is what do you like, how do you see the landscape changing? Like, do you see brands continuing to kind of make a conscious effort to try to do good or try to be authentic? Do you think this is like an of the moment thing where they're like, yeah, all right, we're going to kind of pop this off now, then 6 months from now when everyone's good, we're going to revert back to the shit that we're doing? Do you think that this is going to carry on? I mean, are we going to see like everlasting change?
I don't think any brand's intention is to ever revert back. Like, let's just do this good right now and then go back to what we were doing 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. I think brands follow trends.
Yeah.
Because brands are not tastemakers. Like, no matter what any brand or agency will tell you, they're not tastemakers. They don't create culture. They do follow trends within culture. And I think that they will follow whatever the need is right now. And the need is a collaborative effort to get us under this curve, right? So everybody is going to try to be a part of that in some way. And I think 6 months from now, if there is significant change in our behaviors and what our culture looks like, there will be continuous change coming from every brand, and they will continue on this path that we're on right now. However, if 6 months from now we all forget that we were stuck in the house on punishment for months, then the brands are going to go back to what was working 6 months before because behavior hasn't changed.
Yeah. Amazing. So I'll ask you then, Kai, like, do you have any other last kind of points you'd like to make on your way out, or anything that you say, hey, we should be doing more of this, or?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I've just been telling everybody on all my first time happy hours is recognizing that even though the world technically has stopped, mm-hmm. I think us as individuals, as professionals, this is our moment to keep pushing forward, to catch up. I think that this space that we're in kind of allows everyone to feel relatively disenfranchised and in a way offers an opportunity to slightly level this playing field that we're all working towards. So if you said that you wanted to learn how to use Adobe Suite and you get out of here 2 months from now and you haven't learned nothing about Photoshop, shame on you. If you said you wanted to lose 5 pounds and you left out of here 2 months in the house and didn't pick out a YouTube video, shame on you. If you want to write more, continuing on. Like, this is just an opportunity to really take time for ourselves that unprecedentedly, like, we've never had an opportunity to do that before. So just
never
go do better and be great. That's it.
That's such a great point, man. It's take advantage of the time you have and do positive things with it.
And thank you guys for not judging my pimples, my nails, and my pajamas. Like, I appreciate you all.
Oh, stop.
You're great.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining in on the conversation, Kai.
Peace.
And take it easy. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I will have, if anyone else, right, I will bring in one more person because we are legit about to close out 3 hours. Like, in 10 minutes, we've done 3 hours. So if anyone else wants to join, raise their hand, speak now, or forever hold your peace. Because this has been real dope, man. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right, look, on that note, we are going to sign off. This has been amazing, honestly, and truth be told, I didn't know what to expect when we decided to do this. This last Saturday, I decided again, because I have diarrhea of the mouth, to just hop on LinkedIn and just do a post to see if anyone wanted to talk about this. To get the feedback that I got was amazing. I had like 25 or so people reach out directly and say, yes, I want to talk on this topic. I have something to say. And we were able to, and what I was really proud of is the fact that we were able to bring in a really diverse group of people, amazing kind of talent that looks different, right? Men, women, white, black, like tons of people called. This was an amazing conversation. So I couldn't thank all of you more for sticking in here and hanging with me for now 2 hours and 50 minutes. With that being said, if you all dig this, I'm going to probably do a post tomorrow with just my very quick thoughts on it. Comment on it, like it, share it, whatever. I think we might turn this into a weekly thing, right, where we get together and maybe every week we discuss different topics. So feel free to kind of throw your hat in if you want to join in on the conversation. Throw your hat in if you feel that there's a conversation that needs to be had. And again, this is just a great opportunity where we can kind of step outside of the day-to-day, shit that we're seeing on TV, online, and so on and so forth, and just have a real authentic conversation between all of us, because I think it's important that we come together and build a community and have these conversations, whether they be difficult or not, so we could just feel like one and feel like we're moving the needle and moving things forward. So you guys have been amazing. This has been fucking dope. From Lance to Chris to Kai to everyone that joined, and Paul and Luois and so on and so forth, and SaWeetie, it was dope that she joined on in the beginning. This has been amazing. So we made it through the night. No issues like we did last night, and I am signing off. Everyone get some rest, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.